Hi, it's Alex, and today I'm going to be breaking down my track Kantele, which is forthcoming on Ghost Snare's Seance Volume 1 compilation, released on digital platforms on the 18th of February. Now let's give it a listen. Okay, so I'm here in the very first session I had with this tune, which was on the 14th of December 2020. So quite a lot of time has elapsed since I first started it. Let's just give it a spin and see if there are similar elements that have stayed all the way through into the final track. So we've got the flutes. That kind of fluty line is still in there and that kind of weird bubbly sound, you could say. Got a feeling I didn't keep that break in. Don't think I kept that. Just skip forward a bit. Yeah, so that it sounds like a lot of the elements I kind of actually did just carry on through to the final track, which is, well, quite revealing, and why I think these like track breakdowns can actually be quite insightful, because it's a finished piece of music that I've said I'm happy to release or to send to people, and that if I can do it, so can you, so can anyone. I probably threw this arrangement down in the same way that I do all of the arrangements on stream for new tracks, which was just have a jam with it. Got a feeling I played that 808, just played it in. Kept that Amen in, which is from a Rhythm Lab version, I think. Did my thing of follow actions here, so got some mad stuff going on here. Yeah, what I'm actually going to do once I finish this is pack up some of these samples and put them on Patreon, and I'll also put some free stuff in the description as well. Okay, yeah, so quite revealing the first jam. It sounds like a lot of the stuff is in there. Let me just talk through some of the sounds of what we've actually got here. I think inspired by Pete Cannon's Amiga video, I thought I'd actually just go and like try and find actual samples from original Amiga soundtrack stuff, and there's lots of stuff on YouTube. On my previous breakdown for All Night, I think again I've got some Amiga stuff in there. Let's give a listen to the whole sample of this, shall we? What was it from? Be quite. Yeah, cool. So, and it's a similar thing for this one. Imagine, these are just things that I would have messed around with and just played with. See if we can find this sound. What's this like? Oh, here we go. Let's give it a listen. I'm sure that's I used that in I've used that in something else as well. Maybe it was in the last track. Okay, what have we got here? This was taken from a YouTube video, Kantele Through the Ages, and a kantele, where the tune gets its title from, is actually a Finnish zither, almost like a Finnish dulcimer or something like that. And one of my favourite things to do is to kind of find mad instruments from around the world, sample those. I mean, really, it kind of sounds very almost like a plucked string. Nice, yeah. Lush. So it's obviously very high up, the very high register here. Yeah, like a couple of... Magic would work very low as well, nicely. Cool. Alright, so... And then we've got this cool, like, female sample. And I know where I got this from, and I was looking for it before I started filming the video. And that was this sick YouTube channel, Mixtape Magic. So yeah, I feel like it's only fair game to maybe nab samples from some of these cassette tapes. And I think it was like an electro one or something, I can't remember exactly. It was just in the middle. I was looking for points where there were little vocal bits or maybe MC shouts and stuff like that. Yeah, I found this. Sorry, this. Let's see what the rest of the sample is like. It looks like there's some drums or something there. So it's that one in the middle. There we go. Gives you a flavour. And then this was... I have a feeling that I, again, sampled YouTube for Sonic TS10 samples. This is quite a nice pad by the sound of it. Lovely. So I'll chuck that in. That's a nice one. The same bass as I had in All Night. That sub, that nice sub. Very good. And then a pitch drop bass thing. Again from my Jungle Steels track. I think that's a Ray Keith tune. Big up Ray Keith. And then we've got this kind of bounding 808 idea, which is cool. And that's just on a standard 808 from Jungle Warfare 2. Then the breaks, I'm pretty sure I got rid of this fire break, and that was from just a sample pack. Sounds pretty cool there though. Yeah. Oh. And then this hard Neve Amen. Now, interestingly, there's loads of other like time stretch Amen versions of this. Cool. Yeah, and that was it. So I would have just jammed out those ideas. Okay, so I'm going to open the next version I worked on, which was on the 11th of January. Okay, so here we are in the next version of the track that I exported. It looks like I've tried to outline the sections a bit more. Let's give it a listen, shall we? Not from there. . 'Cause 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 ' Kind of how it starts now. I think I was trying to go for a call and response thing with the samples. Sounds like I've carried the pad on there. I think I got rid of it in the real version. Real version? I've added in a think there. Think and the amen just go together so well. Think 2 or something. So I think this is kind of testimony to the fact that sometimes, like, you can just nail it on the first, like, in the first few goes. I mean, that just sounds very, like, not all tracks for like this, you know, for every track you nail, or at least for me, there are 100 that just don't work and that I just don't do anything with. And sometimes you just get lucky with the arrangement the first time. I think my tip for doing that would be to get out of the loop as quickly as possible. And the way to do that is to just throw something down without listening to it for the first time you export your idea. It doesn't have to be right the first time. There is no right and wrong in music anyway. All you need is something. You just need something to respond to as an arrangement for the first go. And over listening to your stuff will destroy your objectivity about it. You will make better music if you listen to it less. I've got a feeling I kind of tidied up. I got much tighter on the breaks here. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's like a hot pants one that comes in. So really, with this tune, I kind of got all the elements on the first run. Everything else, all the other sessions I did on it, was arrangement of those elements. Okay, the breaks might have changed a bit, but because I've built up such a library of break beats, just chopping them and saving them as presets, like a lot of all that work's already been done for me, or I've already done it in different sessions. So I can just pull in these MIDI clips, you know. I'm going to fast forward a bit now, maybe to this July one. Okay, so here we are in the July session, 21st of July 21. So it was, what, 8 months or thereabouts since I started the track. And I would have been working on lots of other music at the same time with this. I suspect I've probably started to try and mix it a bit more now. It looks like I've tidied it up a bit. I remember doing some quite harsh stuff on the amen at points, but maybe I've rendered that all down now. So I've kind of colour coded it. It looks like I bounced everything, and I was probably beginning to mix it at this point. Yeah, it looks like I've been doing that. What's on the master channel? Yeah, there's some mastering going on here. So this would have been so I could listen to it in the car. Got a bit of a fade in there. I like to render things as audio at the end because you can still manipulate, especially break stuff. You can do a lot of stuff in audio, and I think the only way to learn how you like to work from beginning to the end is to do it, and just to finish loads of rubbish music if you have to, and music that you don't like, and music that you think doesn't sound finished. You have to go through that process. It's painful. It is painful. It's painful for me. It's painful for every producer to finish stuff. If you are a producer who can finish stuff and not get hung up on it, then please comment and tell us your secret, because it's so easy to attach your self-worth to this stuff and think that the music you're finishing is a representation of who you are, and it's not. It's all just a work in progress, a step in the journey. You know, there is no destination, there is no journey. You're exactly where you need to be. So I've got some effects going on the sends here. So quite a big reverb on the Valhalla Vintage Verb. Got a nice little room reverb here. This is a great way to glue your tracks together, using reverbs on sends, making your instruments sound like they're in a real space together, even for stuff like this, which is electronic and was never in a real space together, you know. To the listener, it kind of creates a sense of depth. Echo, quite simple on the effects. Mastering wise, EQ, side EQ, that's the sides. Just EQing off those low frequencies. The sound size CQ, SciQ. Just a little bit of a bump up the top and a little bit of a notch on the mids. Glue compressor working quite hard, decapitator. Ozone. Applying just limiting, I suspect there. But yeah, this sounds like it's very close to the original, and looks like the October one I think was just so I could give it to Pete as a master. But I don't think I did much processing at all to the sounds in this, and it really was just about the kind of the samples working together nicely. You know, a lot of these samples, especially from kind of the Jungle Warfare stuff, sound pretty good off the bat. If you don't need to process them, then don't. Not every sound needs to have a million plugins on it. It just doesn't. Less is more, and your track will breathe more. It'll have more vibe. It'll have more life the less plugins you use. Got some side chaining going on the pad there, but it's quite minimal in that way. And it's funny because I think when I was actually doing this, when I'd sent it to people, it really was as a track that I didn't think was going to go anywhere. But Pete picked up on it and was like, want to put it on the compilation, really liked it. And I think there's a lesson there that like you can send music to people even if you're not 100% sure about it, because I wasn't 100% sure about this track, but Pete really liked it. So yeah, don't always trust your own opinion. Okay, well I hope there's been something insightful in there. I feel all the techniques that I employed in this track were things that I've done on stream, you know, chopping breakbeats and so forth. There's not really too much magic going on in this track. I've done this more to have a look at the samples, the Amiga samples, and sampling YouTube, building up your own sample library, finding your own sounds. What are you into? You know, what's piquing your ear? What you're hearing? You know, is it street noise? Is it old things you used to like as a kid, old films? That's where you can really inject your personality into your music, is with the samples you use. Okay, maybe not Jungle Warfare and stuff like that, but yeah, to an extent, you know. And the breakbeats are all kind of my own, and again, they're all things I've chopped myself, and all stuff that I've kind of collected over time. yeah, so I think I'm gonna end the video there. If you want to support me, streaming my music, buying my music, supporting me on Patreon, it's all in the description below, as well as a link to Ghost Snares on Facebook and Bandcamp, where this track will be released on the 18th of February. Yeah, check it. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you around.